realized about identity is that it's really always in relationship to someone or something else. So when my first identity was a daughter, and my next one that I can recall is a student, and then these various other relationships, cousin, grandchild, you know, that kind of a thing. And then as I started going out into the world, the society had other names for me, you know, girl, Negro, that's how old I am. Come on, everybody, so let's lighten up, okay, all right, okay. Then it was, I think it was, no, colored was first, then it was Negro, then it was black, and then, no, it was African American. Hey, I don't know, it's somebody else's opinion about me, okay, all right, but ultimately, what I found is that as a result of all of these relationship identities, that I was developing me. I was developing, my nickname is Ronnie to some people, you know, I was developing Ronnie, you know? And so I didn't know how rock solid it was until about April of this year. So WHYY, which I'm a member, had this bus tour to NPR, and it's in my native Washington, D.C., and I pass by it often when I'm going to visit my only remaining relative, my aunt, and I said, wow, I really would like to go to that. But the bus left from Philly at 9 o'clock in the morning. Come on, you know what I mean. I was not going to go to Philly. It was much easier for me to get on at Exton Station and go down to D.C. on Amtrak, right? So that's what I did. I made the arrangements with the coordinator over at WHYY, and so I go down, and it was a wonderful tour. If you get an opportunity to go down, it's wonderful. It was really, really wonderful. So masterful, all those folks down there, the musicians. I mean, it was just an amazing day. But because I'd gone down on my own, I decided I would take the opportunity to go and visit my aunt. She's 89. You know, she's, no, 91 now or something like that, but she's something else, okay? She's dating a man younger than me, okay? A very good role model. Okay, so I went to visit with her, and then I went, it was a Friday, and I went down to get on my train to come back to Westchester, or in this case, Wilmington, where I had parked my car. And the train was like, I don't know, like 2.5 hours late. Well, okay, so little backstory. In January, I had like this major surgery. In fact, God, for my amazing daughter who switched up roles with me, my daughter Marion. She became the mother and I became the child. And so I had been through quite something, but I had healed quite well, and it took me about 3 or 4 months. But this was like my first real trip out since this surgery. And I was feeling fantastic. I was looking good. I was feeling strong, you know, and so I went down. I was all of that. I was great on the tour. Everybody was like, well, who is this lady? Oh, she's on the tour, and everybody wanted to know who I was. You know, it was like, oh, I was feeling it, you know, it was great. So when I get down there, what I realize is that, well, the train is late. Well, the other thing is that, you know, because I am a senior now, I really rely on my doctors. And I'd had some kind of an infection that didn't quite go away with just the regular antibiotic treatment. So my doctor, the day before, had put me on the stronger antibiotic. Well, it caused some problems. Well, okay. So there were some gastrointestinal problems, okay. So I went to the Amtrak, bought some Pepto-Bismol, something like that. I'm cool. But as I'm sitting there at okay, now this is what I've always done at Amtrak. Because I grew up, you know, with the railroad, you know, I love red cap service. So even though I may not have bags, it's the best way to get on the train. You remember that now. Go to the red cap. All it's gonna cost you is like $2 or $3 or whatever you wanna give them. They'll get you on the train before all those other people are standing on that line. So I'm accustomed to doing that. So that's what I did. But now, what I didn't understand is that it's one thing for the daytime and the regular kind of thing, how we know about the train system and the and the red caps and all that. That's good up until about 6 o'clock on a weekday. Something changes on Friday night at 7 o'clock. It turns into this underground something. I'm telling you, it's really something. I thought maybe I need to come down there and spend a couple of days down there and maybe write a musical because it's really amazing. But it's not quite my thing. So when I get down there, I'm realizing, okay, I'll get on the train and I'll be close to the bathroom and everything will be fine. But every few minutes, it's like, oh, maybe I should go to the bathroom now. Well, what if they call me in time to get on the train? So I'm kind of back and forth like that. And so finally, one of the red cap guys comes to me and says, come on, you want to get on the train? I said, fine. So he says, can you go down there by yourself? I said, yeah, fine. So I go down. And when I get down there, the conductor is having some problem with the train. So I walked down and I said, hey, how you doing? He said, you can't be down here. I said, well, but a red cap guy brought me down. What I didn't understand, the red cap guy needs to be seen, okay? And he had left me. So anyway, so I said, well, hey, guy, hey, I'm from a railroad family. My grandfather was a conductor many years ago and blah, blah. And he said, I don't care about anything like that, lady. You got to get out of here because we're having some major problems and I cannot take responsibility if something happens to you. Now, the truth is, I could not stand. I could not go anywhere. I needed to stand there, okay? Because I had my dignity about me, but I really could not move too much further other than to get on the train and be close to a restroom. So I said, I really can't move, sir, right now. And I said, and I really didn't come down here on my own. This guy really did let me down here. And he says, if you don't go back upstairs, I'm calling the cops. I said, oh, really? You're going to go there? He said, yeah. And seriously, he calls the police. So I'm standing there. I said, I can't believe this is what's going on. So he says, see how arrogant she is? Now, the cops were wonderful, I got to tell you. One was a white guy, the other one was an Asian guy, and clearly these guys have degrees and master stuff because they were so together. They were together. And so I told one of them, I said, look, I said, I am a senior, and I'm having a medical condition, and I really need to be close to the bathroom. It's not my problem that it was 2.5 hours late. So here's my story. Then the other guy comes up and he says, but that's the conductor, and he's feeling like you disrespected him. And so finally he says, you gotta talk to him because he's the conductor, and you realize you don't have to you can't get on the train unless he says so. I said, okay. So I turned and I said, I'm really sorry, young man, for any misunderstanding we have, I said, but I honestly did get down here because of a red cap. I don't know where he went, but that's honestly the truth. So he says, well, okay. He says, let me see your ID. And he looks at my ID and he clarifies that I am 70 years old, So this person he's been calling arrogant, is not arrogant. She's 70 and confident, okay? Who I am, I know what my rights are, and it's not my fault that it was 2.5 hours late and that I was having a gastrointestinal problem, okay? But I stood my ground, and he actually apologized to me. And I was so proud of him because he was in a position of authority, but when he realized that I was a senior and looking good and not quite 70, he absolutely said, I'm sorry. I said, I accept your apology. I got on the train. Everything was fine. And here I am today. It's my birthday at 1 minute to 12. I will be 70 officially. Good. And I got to tell you, identity crisis or not, I know who I am, and it's really good when other people recognize that.
Veronica, everybody.